Peace, Jeff. Welcome to your reading, your quantum leap reading. I am 100% sure that something is going to come out of this reading that is going to support you and give you the understanding of the steps that you need to be taking to move forward. So I'm excited. I'm excited to give that to you. What I want to say to you before we even get into this thing, it's because we've worked together a few times, we've done some work. I want to tell you that you have to let go of that narrative, right? You have to surrender the story that you've been telling yourself about your childhood that has made you to be the man that you are today. Like, you just got to let it go. Like, some things, first of all, I wonder if you've done hypnosis before, because when I work with clients like you who I hear kind of the same things repeating, that says to me that the wound, um, the attachment to the trauma that you've experienced is it's deep, to where there may be an aspect of your mind that doesn't want you to, that is holding on to that identity so strongly, to where there's an extreme blockage that stops you from being able to let it go. So my thing to you right now is, I would encourage you to do some hypnosis. Either you can do it with Neoshi Hypnosoul, you can do it with Khadijah, you may even be able to do it with Miss Blue, or hell, there's some white people out here who do hypnosis as well. But I feel like you getting a hypnotherapy, I knew this card was going to come out. That is so funny that I knew this card was going to come out. I knew that this was going to be a card. It is, you can't really see it. It is the 9 of Pentacles. And I'm telling you, Spirit is like, baby, you got to move on. This 8 of Wands is telling you to move on. Stop telling yourself the same story. I need you to stop believing in that story. I need the story of your trauma, the story of your past, of the story of unworthiness. Just stop even thinking that you have to work on it. Spirit is like, you have to move on. This card that you barely can see is where Spirit is asking you to go. All right, let me angle it some type of way. Let me see. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You can't even see it. And that's the spiritual thing too, because I don't know why you can't see this card. It's not like it's green. It's actually yellow. So you should be able to see it. It's the 9 of Pentacles. And what we see on the card is a spiritual woman. She's creative. She's divine. She has abundance. She lives a life of luxury. Spirit is asking you to walk into that portal and accept that and embrace that. But in order for you to do that, you're going to have to move on from the storyline that you don't deserve it. You're going to have to move. And this is what I'm saying. It's not even the storyline of you don't deserve it. Move on from the storyline that you have self-worth issues. Stop even believing that you have self-worth issues. Spirit is asking you to move on from it. Yes, your situation, your circumstances, the battles and the challenges that you faced, yes, they lend and they show this sign that says, okay, self-worth, self-worth, self-worth. But sometimes you need cognitive dissonance. Sometimes you need cognitive dissonance, meaning you totally ignore that you have this self-worth issue, or this self-worth thing that continues to come up. Spirit is actually asking you to move on from it, move away from it, act like it does not exist. You have to trick your mind and trick your being and trick yourself into just accepting that you are already worthy. You have to trick your mind into accepting that the work is already done. You've already accomplished it. You've already won. You've already made it happen. Spirit is asking you to move on. You know what I'm also hearing is that maybe you need to move away. Eight of Wands. Spirit is asking you got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to travel. You got to get in new environments because you're staying in the same environment that you've always been in. And that environment reminds you of that same old story. It's that same old story again. Go listen to that Stevie Wonder, Same Old Story. Really powerful song. Spirit is asking you to get in a new environment that supports the new story that you're trying to tell yourself. You got to move around. You got to move, change cities, go somewhere different. I just heard Atlanta. You need to move. You need to put some plans in place for you to move because you stand in the same place for however long you've been there. It's keeping you trapped in that same thought process. It's keeping you trapped in essentially a quantum loop where spirit is trying to move you into abundance, to luxury, to confidence, to assertiveness. Spirit is trying to manifest in your life financial independence, self-sufficiency. That's the portal that spirit and this card has everything to do with self-worth. This card has everything to do with self-worth. The spirit had this portal right here is open for you. Before I even pull the card, let me see how I can let you see this card because I don't want to just be, I want you to see it. Before I even pulled the card, I saw that card in my vision. I had already saw it. And so for it to come out is just further confirmation. Spirit is like, walk through the portal of confidence, walk through the portal of independence, walk through the portal of self-reliance, walk through the portal of personal pursuit. Start to treat yourself luxuriously. Start to treat yourself luxuriously. It's not a matter of, are you worth it or not? No, we're not doing that no more. We're not even having the conversation of, am I worth luxury? Am I worth goodness? Am I worth that? We're moving away from even asking that question. Spirit is asking you to move away from even asking that question and just walk into it. Live in it. Have cognitive dissonance, meaning release the consideration of you may not have self-worth or not. Spirit is like, just LIG it. Spirit is like, let it go. Looks like another love's TKO. Spirit is like, let it go. Allow yourself to let it go. This is what I'm talking about. This is the card. I wanted to show you it just in case you couldn't see it. All right. If you see here, you see that it says the card is for material gain, Venus in Virgo. August 31st through September 10th is the timing of that card. This card just symbolizes just abundance, luxury, new things coming in, success. That's the portal spirit is asking you to walk through. And the work I feel like you have to do right now is cognitive dissonance. Separate from the thought that you may not have had self-worth. How about that? How about we just get into a mental space that you've always had self-worth, that you've never questioned your self-worth. You've always been disciplined. You've always had everything you wanted. This is what spirit is calling you towards. This was the very first card that came out for you. Success, achievement, security, home, improvements, new garden, large purchases. The positive of this card, large sums of money, new homes and cars, having more than enough. The negative, the need for discretion, need for caution, feeling trapped, building a lifestyle you don't want to maintain. So spirit is just asking you to separate from the idea, separate from the belief, move on, the 8 of Wands, move on and move away. Move on and move away. Over the next 28 days, I want you to ask yourself, how can I relocate? Is there somewhere, ask yourself, is there somewhere that you can relocate to get a fresh start? Because let's say if you move out of the city that you've always been in, when you move away, you get to create a new identity. You get to go somewhere new. Everybody don't know you. You get to say, this is who I am. I am a confident, abundant, prosperous, luxurious man who takes care of himself, who does what he needs to do. Spirit is saying, the next card that came off you is the Page of Cups. Spirit is saying, allow yourself to be curious. Think about the possibilities. Lean into the creative opportunities. Trust your intuition. Lean in to your intuition. Lean in into your creativity. Okay? I know you do music as well, right? You do music as well, right? There's a persona, there's a character, there's a specific energy that you embody whenever you do music. Why can't we embody that every day? Why can't we be that guy every day? Okay? The moon cycle, new moon in Gemini. I love that. New moon in Gemini came out for you. It says communication is key. Communication is key. Spiritually, I want you to start communicating yourself to yourself and start letting yourself know that you are on a new journey, that you're on a new path, that you're doing something different. You know, the new moon, like I said in the video that I just did, the new moon symbolizes the initiation. The new moon symbolizes intention. The new moon symbolizes, this new journey that you are embarking on. But then when we get Gemini, we got the two faces. So just as much as you have this one face or this one identity of low self-worth and maybe some low self-esteem, because self-esteem and confidence all come together for self-worth, just as much as you have that face, you have this other face that is super confident, that is super assertive, that is disciplined, that is focused, and that knows what he wants. But what voice are you listening to? What voice are you giving more attention to? That's what the question is. So Spirit is asking you to move on from giving the voice of low self-worth and low self-esteem more energy. Spirit is asking you to move on from giving it that and tap into the voice of confidence, tap into the voice of assertiveness, tap into the voice of luxury, tap into the voice of the good that is happening to you. Okay? You are in a space right now where you have to start communicating powerfully with yourself. Start communicating with the confident, luxurious, divine, successful part of you. You just give too much attention to that old self. And Spirit is like, come on. Focus, consistency, move on. Lean into your creativity, lean into your artistry, lean into the things that you are passionate about, that you are excited about. Lean into curiosity. Just be curious about what would happen if you gave more attention to the opposite side, because we live in a universe of polarity, don't we? Come on now. You in this spiritual work, you know that this universe has poles. So on one pole is low self-worth, on the other pole is high self-worth. Spirit is just like lean into the curiosity of what it would be like to have high self-worth. What would you do? What would you say? How would you show up? A part of your work for the next 28 days, for the next 28 days, when you're navigating life, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself the question, what does the valuable, high self-worth, abundant, prosperous me, how does he dress? How does he eat? How does he speak? How does he live? And then I want you to pick one of those things and do it. Just pick one of those things and do it. Do not let your mind say to you, oh, don't even trick yourself, because you've been tricking yourself. You've been deluding yourself. Okay? What I mean by that is you'll turn around and say something like, man, but you don't have no discipline. It's a lie. It's a lie, because the reality is if you don't have no discipline, you actually have a lot of discipline, because that's polarity. It's just a matter of what you are focusing on, what you are leaning to. So for the next 21 days, take a moment every morning. You need to do this in the morning so that you give yourself all throughout the day. You give yourself all throughout the day the opportunity to operate from that place of confidence, from that place of self-worth, from that place of luxury, from that place of success. You ask yourself the question, what would this me do? If I had this, who would I be? What would I say? What would I do? How would I show up? And you pick one of those things and you do it. It's really that simple. It's that simple. Do not overcomplicate it. Have cognitive dissonance. Forget about the fact that you ever struggle with self-worth and self-confidence. Let it go. All right, let it go. You got another moon cycle card that came out, and it says the energy of gaining momentum. That's the waxing moon. So as you do this work, you're going to gain momentum. And by the time the full moon comes, you're going to start to feel that energy manifested. You're going to have that realization. You're going to have that aha. You're going to feel like, oh shit, I've been doing this and I actually feel good about it. Oh wow, look at what's popping up and showing up in my life. Look at what's happening. That's what you're actually going to do. I just saw another card that popped out. You need to, during this time, during this 28 days, you need to work on being a better friend to yourself. The same way that you would be a good friend, the same way that you would be a good friend to the women that you deal with or the people that are around you, the same way that you encourage them, that you uplift them, and that you don't make them feel bad. Like, think about this. Think about this. If you had a friend who made a mistake, you love this person, they made a mistake. Are you going to come to them and say, damn, you always fucking up. Damn, you can never get it done. Man, you lack self-discipline. You must don't have no self-worth. Are you going to talk to them like that? Yes or no? More than likely, the answer is no. Because you understand that communicating with somebody you love, communication is key. Communication is key. Trying to let it focus. It ain't focusing, but hey, boom. Communication is key. Because you understand that communicating with somebody like that you love, you understand that if you communicate that way, you potentially would ruin that relationship, and this person would not want to be friends with you ever again. Even though your heart may be in the right place, even though there may be some truth to what it is that you are saying, if you do not know how and when to communicate, you totally destroy, okay? You totally destroy the message that was intended, okay? Another part of your work, so when it comes down to your communication, when you're talking to yourself, I need you to talk to yourself as if you were talking to a friend. That is your work for this month. 28 days. Talk to yourself as if you were talking to a friend that you love, a friend that you care about, a friend that you value. You're going to say, hey, it didn't work out today. That's okay. Let's go and get it right now. Let's figure it out right now. Let's move forward right now. What is the solution today? Let's stay focused on the goal. Let's stay focused on the desire. Keep your head in the game. Don't quit. Don't give up. We got this. That's how you're going to communicate to a friend. You're not going to tear them down, because if you tear them down, they're not going to want to keep going and pursuing the goal. And you've been communicating with yourself in an unhealthy way that makes you not even want to try to pursue success, luxury, financial freedom. So throughout this month, I need you to be a better friend to yourself. Throughout this month, I need you to have cognitive dissonance, meaning forget whatever happened in your life that made you to be the man that you feel like you are today, and focus your attention on the man that you are desiring to be. That means every day you wake up and you ask yourself, who do I want to be? What do I want to be? What do I want to have? And you structure elements in your day around that. Some other work that you got is the law of mentalism. It's all going hand in hand. This card says the law of mentalism. And it says, get clarity on your core values and commit to what matters. Commit to what matters. And let's just be clear. You don't have commitment issues. You don't have commitment issues. You don't have discipline issues. We talked before in the past. You told me you were in a long-term relationship. That means that you know how to commit. But right now, you've just been more committed to the story of I lack discipline, I lack self-worth. Spirit is asking you to move on, shift your perspective, look at opportunities for you to do something different, and commit to what matters, which right now, what matters is you walk through that portal of success and abundance and fortune. that spirit has for you. What matters right now is you manifesting a deep level of self-love, which in turn will manifest you a woman who would love and appreciate you the way that you want to be loved and appreciated. But you got to get clear on what it is that you actually desire and commit to it, right? Last card for you is this moon cycle card. It is the full moon eclipse. Oh my God, this should be so deep. The full moon eclipse, and it says conclusions are within reach. You are in everybody, all of us right now are in a space where we can end some of these old ass cycles, but you got to commit to the work. Your work right now is waking up daily and saying, who do I want to be? What do I want to be? And focusing yourself on being that. Your work right now is forgetting the narrative, forgetting the story of who you used to be and what you didn't have. Forget that story. Your work right now is to talk to yourself better. Talk to yourself the way that you would talk to a friend. Your work right now is figure out how you can relocate. Start really researching relocating. I think I'm here in Atlanta, maybe even like North Carolina, maybe even Texas. Figure out how you can relocate, because when you relocate, you need to also do like it's some sort of astrology where they will tell you where you will thrive the best at. But I feel like if you get in a new environment, a different environment, then you'll feel your ability to create a new identity as well. So you're thinking about that and you're considering that for the next 28 days too. All right. That's my energy reading for you. Last card I want to say is be of service for the next 28 days. For the next 28 days, figure out how you can give back to others, because what you pour into others, you're pouring into yourself. That's my reading to you. Peace and love, Jeffrey.